speak moron as well as you, but let me try.
What the hell is supposed to do, you moron?
It's a moron. That's not against the law.
Gun! You fucking moron!
Stuff like Batman.
Because he is Batman, you moron.
What are you, a fucking moron?
You moron. Drop dead. Moron.
Whoa!
Up here, you morons.
Stepping morons like yourself.
Me down, you moron! Hey, moron!
Is that a start of the game now? Is that a start of the game now?
Another week gone past.
Do you Kyle is still not well. We were just talking off camera there about washing clothes. Do you iron your clothes? I just iron as I go. I have nothing more depressing I think than sitting with a full basket that gets. You iron it to fold it again, so you're just putting creases back in it. I don't see the point in it.
Aye,
there's no point in that. I couldn't tell you the last time I ironed an item of clothing. Probably when I lived at my mom's.
Do you not iron stuff before you wear it, Sean? No.
No, because by the time I wear a lot of black stuff, so didn't need to iron black t-shirts or that. And if I'm not wearing
Wait. Colours don't change whether it's on creases or not.
No, I know, but it's harder to see a crease in a black t-shirt.
Oh, right. I think you meant like black had magic on creasing powers.
If you wear like a jacket like that over the top or something, like your body heat will naturally decrease it as well.
That's exactly what I was going to say. And even if like I never really just cut about in a t-shirt anyway. I've always got like, either a jacket on or something on over the t-shirt. But it just naturally just like takes the creases out itself. I hate ironing. I just wondered after we were talking.
Well, on for the last week, I used to iron all the time when I was went into the office. Obviously, I would have to iron shirts and that, but like Daniel was saying, but like I'd iron all my clothes and I would actually have I would like Hunter was saying how it's that depressing. I would end up sitting there ironing. I would stand there ironing, obviously. Wouldn't sit down when I was doing it. For like ages and ages, whereas now I just iron as I go, somewhat to you. And it's a lot less annoying.
Now that I'm back having to be in the office, I'm ironing shirts in the morning. But I'll never iron a t-shirt, but you've got to iron a shirt.
Yeah.
Shirts and polos if I'm gone out. That is the extent of my ironing these days. If I'm at work, it's just a t-shirt under a fleece of a jumper. Even if I'm going to the pub, it's just like a tacky top or something I've got on, so there's usually just an iron t-shirt on underneath that.
Aye. And if you that tacky top off, nobody would ever know that you've no ironed your t-shirt.
Aye, by the time my body sweat profusely, it's made the fucking damn pokesters in the iron fucking creases are bothered about by then.
We've managed 2 weeks in a row now with the most boring topics to start us off, man.
There'll be some folk that iron their boxers, to be fair.
No, they don't. Who irons their boxers?
People in their hard life checked, I'd imagine.
Every single item of clothing that they've got probably iron it.
Nah, that's like Hunter said, hard drive check for these folk if you're ironing your boxers.
Definitely.
We should.
Do you know what is very, very good? See if obviously not everybody has a tumble dryer or that, right? But see if you put your boxers and socks in a tumble dryer in the winter before you put them on. Fuck me, that is tremendous. It lasts for all about 10 seconds, but that is pure glory.
It's like when you have to get some of that original sauce mint and tea tree on the boss first, and then put your warm boxers on.
What film we're doing?
The Banshees of Inisherin.
I just wanted someone else to say it because pronouncing it was difficult for me. The Banshees of Inisherin. Is that right? Inisherin.
Yes.
Before we start, I've got a question for you, Hunter.
Yes.
Oh.
Is this actually your pick, or is this Laura's pick since she picked Bruce?
This was actually my pick because the shout out here to a friend of the podcast, JMac88. So I'd originally picked the new Christian Bale film, and then upon seeing John's review on Instagram that day, I decided that's just going to get caned, and I couldn't run the risk of having another film getting absolutely rinsed on the fucking pod. So I went with something, and then I think that was around about the same time. I think Colin Farrell had then picked up the Best Actor Golden Globe, must have been about the same time, or there wasn't much in between it. So I was like, right, whilst I've got an opportunity to change, I'll grasp it with both hands and get this changed. Plus, I think this film had actually been a wee while before Thingy Taylor. It's something that I don't know. We hadn't even popped into discussion that not that I can remember anyway for even being watched on, or even for the podcast. So I thought, fuck it, let's chuck it in. Especially now that we're going to be in the midst of award season and it's up for a few awards. So I thought it'd also be quite apt getting in for that as well.
I hadn't even heard that, so we
Did you not?
definitely discussed it. Nah.
I was buzzing when you changed it because I'd seen that review as well, and I was going to watch this anyway, so it kind of worked it quite well. But I'm really glad that you changed your pick.
We need to get. I was going to say we need to get John on. We need to let him pick 2 films and come on for one episode. I think he'd fit in well because he seems to have a big influence on what we actually fucking do. Yeah. What was I going to say? So I actually expected Sean to pick this when we had the choices. I thought you'd been quite excited about this film for some reason. I don't know why. I just think you like all things Irish. I think that's just a stereotype in me.
I was waiting on Sean having to ask you that question, so you just coming out with the answer there, Daniel. If I expected Sean to say what you've got to say, like
it's going to be the answer.
Aye, I knew it was going to be the question. You knew it was going to be the answer, so I just cut out all the middle stuff. But you picked it, Hunter. What did you think of it?
Right, so again, you're kind of going into this thinking, In Bruges is decent. Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell are good. What is this going to bring? And I've got to admit that it's so weird. There's so much happens, but then again, there's not really a lot really happens. But that said, I thought it was really, really good. It took me by surprise. I think it's been one of it's a type of film that's not been out for a while in my book, which is like a dark or black comedy, dark comedy, however you want to phrase it, that actually had me laughing. Like there's sometimes I can watch a dark comedy and I appreciate the comedy, but it's not actually had me laughing. But I thought some of Colin Farrell's one-liners in this were, again, he's not. I want to phrase this carefully. He's not a simple mind, but he's also not the sharpest tool in the box, is what I'm getting as well. And I think there's something childlike in some of his, like maybe his need for that friendship and stuff like that. And I think, I don't know, maybe there's something relatable in myself for that. I find I don't know. I just kind of found his character very funny in it. And again, like this, like the whole fact that this guy who goes and drinks with every day and then just one day wakes up and is like, nah, I didn't like you anyway. And again, I think there's such, even like there's times like when I was watching it and I'm kind of thinking, do you see if you did just keep pushing him all that time, you probably, like, it's not as if it's the world's biggest place, this wee island off the coast of Ireland, that they would have had to have had conversations at some point.
Oh, it's so weird. Like, it's such a weird concept. Like, I loved it. I do it, by the way, just early on. I'm setting my stall out. I thought this was excellent. But just the whole movie built around the fact that what if somebody just told you one day they didn't like you anymore?
I know.
And then that's just all it's about, really. So
and he's got this resentment towards him, but then you've got to think, if his resentment towards him, how long is he obviously he sat and fucking stewed on it for fucking years. He's the whole reason that he never became a successful violinist or whatever. And it's just like, it's just like, how can you boil that up? Pretend to like someone for so long and then just wake up one morning and say, oh fuck it, this is the day I didn't speak to him anymore.
That probably goes back to you saying, Hunter, when it's that small a place that you probably just think, right, we're just going to have to get on, and it builds up, and then it's just a crescendo and you're like, I cannot stand your face anymore, just leave me alone. Whereas like if it was a big place, then you wouldn't have to run into somebody and you wouldn't maybe have to be as like friendly or get on with each other. But like you say though, they're like meant to be best pals, and then
that's it. When you look,
it's the weird thing that happens.
I mean, it is very slim pickings. Obviously, it's a very densely populated island. So they're probably the two of the guys, apart from the guy who runs the pub, are in the closest age bracket, apart from these random students who come over to play music. And then obviously we've not even touched on it yet, but Barry Keoghan I thought was absolutely amazing in this as well. Just that whole wee exchange, just is so kind of well played. Again, I think we touched on it when we done the Batman review, but again, his Joker I think is going to be superb when it finally he gets his grips on that role too.
Did it remind anyone else, the character, I mean, of Methadone Mick?
I would actually just say that. Methadone Mick.
Right, say it, aye. I wouldn't have.
That was all I was thinking the whole time he was on screen. It was funny as anything to me. It was almost, it was weird.
You could have put Mick in that, and it wouldn't. And twice about it. That is Method and Mick down to a T. He's obviously been watching the new shite episodes of Still Game.
Oh, you see that bit where he's walking out the pub, he's like, "Don't, we can't wake my daddy up," and he's been wanking, and he's just like sitting there ball naked with the police up.
That was so funny.
And that was certainly not a smashing big Boaby.
Definitely not. No.
That must have been a very old room.
Aye, that was an unimpressive Boaby. Like that was. we could probably have a top 5 Boabies by now. There's been quite a lot of Boabies in the film before.
And that would not be touching the sides literally for.
Oh, this is bottom Boaby. This is the worst Boaby we've seen. Like,
it's definitely not the Boaby that's gave Kyle a sore throat.
No. And again, that we touched on Barry, but that exchange where he's doing with Colin Farrell's sister down by the lake too, and he's just like, I've actually now seen it. It's actually now seen that scene is now getting taken. I've seen a couple of tweets now where some of the lines from that are now kind of used out of context too. Like, and it's quite funny as well. I guess that whole, that's my dreams over there.
It's good. Like I enjoy it. See, just a bit, just to go back a bit before I forget. See, when you were talking about him blaming Brendan Gleeson's character, I forget the actual name. Brendan Gleeson's character.
Oh, Colm, that's it.
Colm, aye. Colm, and what's Colin Farrell's character's name again?
Patrick.
Aye, there you go. I'll call him Paddy. Colm and Paddy. Colm blames Paddy for him not like writing this amazing song to be remembered. Right? I just think he's Brendan Gleeson's character. Colm's going through a midlife crisis, and there's no one to blame. He doesn't want to blame himself, so he's really to blame, and he's just that's what he's chosen to focus everything on. There's nothing else. What else can he blame on?
I know.
Nothing. He's done nothing else with his life. And I think he's just a sad bastard of it. I'm very much on Paddy's side all the way through it.
I mean, it does.
You all blame the people that are closest to like things like that. If you can't take ownership of yourself, you're not going to blame somebody that you're not. It's going to be the people that are close to you that get the brunt of your frustration, just the normal stuff, aren't you? Sorry, Hunter, you go.
But I was just saying, do you not feel like that their camaraderie it is almost that they're playing the exact same characters from In Bruges, but obviously just in a parallel universe like that? Like the young, annoying, hyperactive, like it's like a wee hyperactive puppy Colin Farrell, and like Colin is just like this like older Doug is just like sitting, it's been in the family for years, it just doesn't want to play anyway, and the other one's just like rolling his bop to its feet all the time, but go and take that away from me, just like, no, fuck off.
Oh, this is why folk don't come to us for like high-end critical thinking, eh? Like one of the characters is like a young Doug, and the other one's like an older Doug. Only we would, but I know exactly what you mean. Oh, I love it. Carry on.
No, I think that's all I've got. I've not wanted to take up any more airtime / if it's just airtime now, we're not on screen anymore. So I'll let you jump in, Sean, because I know you were also looking forward to getting this Morons to critique.
I'm just very, very glad that you picked it and that you've got away for that stigma that you pick bad films, because I absolutely love this. When I was watching it, I was kind of thinking, obviously, you're just kind of going through it. I'm like, is this literally just going to be like 2 hours of them just bickering, basically? And I just thought it was absolutely brilliant. And it's just, in the grand scheme of things, it is like everybody watching that will have went through something similar, like a fallout, like a meaningless fallout with like a good friend, where it's over something that is, in the grand scheme of things, pretty little, and it's more so when you're younger. Like I remember when I was younger, Dave used to do stuff like that to me all the time. He would just like pretend that he's fell out with me, right? And he's like, when we were at school, so like we'd be on the bus back together, and he would just sit there and no talk to me. Like see at the start of the film, where he goes to get Colin to go to the pub, and he's just like talking to him through the window, and Colin's not even looking at him, sitting there. Dave's just did exactly that to me on a bus. If he came for school, so I would get off the bus thinking, what have I done? Like literally the exact same things in that film. Like, have I said something or something like that? And then he would phone me later on that night, and we would just talk about like fucking LMA manager or Pro Ed. So like that kind of took me back a wee bit, just to like daft stuff at school and all that. But like in the grand scheme of things, it's a nothing argument. And I just like it wasn't even that long ago that we watched In Bruges, and I just absolutely love these two on the screen together. If you were to say to somebody, go and watch this film, what it's about, just two old friends that fell out, it doesn't really sound like it's going to be any good or anything exciting. But as you said yourself, Hunter, Barry Keoghan, I can never pronounce his second name, Barry Keoghan, that's it. He was really good in it as well. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. And it is just the case of that it is that smaller place that everybody knows each other. And like I don't know what would be the stereotypical types that Daniel's already kind of put me in, but like I've got quite a lot of family over in Ireland, and me and my cousins and uncles try to go over every year, but then COVID hit. We've not been in a couple of years now, but where like my gran and granddad are from and where my uncle stays, it's literally the same as that. Obviously it's a bit more modern now in terms of like it's not in the 20s and there's cars and stuff like that, but everybody knows each other's business. So when he walked in the pub and he's like, oh, where's Colin? Like at the start, and he's like, but obviously he'd basically say the same things that Paddy had said to himself. Have you had a row? You must have had a row. It is exactly like that, just in these remote places, and it'll be the same in remote places in Scotland as well. It's just, I thought it was a perfect setting for a silly kind of storyline that I thought was just absolutely brilliant. And obviously they mentioned the Civil War in the background and stuff like that. So like the kind of reference that was, when I say mentioned it was just maybe the odd explosion you would hear and reference it. And like I read after it that like their friendship and the Civil War, not just the Civil War, but war in general, their fallout in the war in general kind of go hand in hand. That it's basically just meaningless bickering that gets resolved by it. And I just thought that was like a nice wee line that I read. Obviously, when I say it out loud, it sounds like utter like mincemeat, but when you read it, it's quite a nice wee thing to read. But I absolutely loved this. I thought it was brilliant. I just for what it is about, how they go like an hour and 50 minutes out of this and made it what it is just absolutely astonishing to me.
See, when you say it like an hour and 50 minutes, I could have watched another hour of it.
Easily. I'll 100% watch this again. 100%.
I was actually quite sad when, after the first finger, I'm surprised nobody's mentioned the fingers yet.
We have had a text from Kyle saying that if we do slag him, we'll start coming around and flinging fingers at our door. But so I think we're all getting one finger each at our doors then.
The poor donkey as well. That was quite sad. Like when he's
when the
wee donkey dies. That
was quite sad. Like because it's just a wee innocent donkey. But like what I don't understand. Oh, actually, no, that's just nonsense. It's a donkey. It doesn't matter. Ignore what I was going to say there.
But you've got to think, what is so toxic in his blood that has managed to kill a donkey?
No, it choked.
Choked on it.
Choked. I just presumed that it died. There was something in his blood.
Poison blood.
Just almost the wee witch woman saying that there's got to be a death on the island. I presumed that was like he maybe had something.
The wee witch woman's weird as well. Like there's so much going on in this film, but like Sean said, there's also nothing going on. Like
you noticed the bit at the end when she was sitting on the bit, like she kind of looked. It was almost kind of Grim Reaper-esque. Like she had like the stick in her hand with the hood up.
Just looking over everyone, yeah.
Oh, well, I think because as a Banshee, I'll refer back to you for Irish folklore knowledge, Sean. But as a Banshee, not like an Irish ghost, screaming ghost or something.
Well, there's a lot of thing about it is that
Is she a
Banshee is Scottish. There's a lot of people like up in the Highlands claim that the term Banshee and that came from Scotland, whereas Ireland try to claim it as well. Because I remember my granddad used to tell us, like, I think I've told you about my granddad's ghost stories and all that when I was younger. But he used to talk about banshees all the time, and I just used to sit and listen. I was like, "What are you talking about?" But so I always remember my granddad talking about banshees, but I never ever knew what one was when I was like 10, 11-year-old. I was like, "What are you, old man?"
So I wasn't sure if she was the banshee within the title, because they mentioned there's no banshees on the island, but maybe she's a fucking demon thing. I don't know. So many things in this film that are going on. And
that's a good point, because I never even thought about that. But she could be seen as the banshee.
I don't know. But I wasn't sure if I was just picking that up. I don't know. But it's such a... I'm just want to echo what you've said, Sean. I think this is excellent. It's definitely put to bed the Hunter picks bad films myth. But there's just something about it. I don't know if any of you felt this, right? But it's got a very Coen Brothers-y feel to it. But Irish, obviously. But it's that.
I don't think so, because I would have probably hated it if it did so.
No, but you like the Big Lebowski, for example. But it's got like Fargo, like similar to Fargo, and that feel that the comedy is so dark, but I don't know. It just a guy chopping his fingers off manages to still feel kind of lighthearted, and a donkey chokes on a finger, and it still sort of floats along. It doesn't feel like so dark and sinister. It does a really excellent job. I don't know. It's one of these ones that's hard to explain why I liked it so much. I think, like Sean said, we've all had that experience. Well, a lot of us, but you either are the torturer or the torturee. Like, you've either had it done to you as a kid or you did it as a kid, pretending not to like somebody anymore, right? And no telling them what they've done. And see, just the whole idea of like not knowing why, and that itch in your brain, and the fact that Colin Farrell's character he just can't leave it alone. I relate to that so much, because that would be me all over. Like, the guy's literally saying, if you speak to me again, I'm going to chop all my fingers off. But in the back of his mind, he's still like, aye, but why? Why?
I think that goes back to when you were saying about how a guy chopping his fingers off could be quite still humorous to when you're watching it, is because if it was something that you knew what the reason, you could see when Colin Farrell's character goes and speaks to him, you knew what's happening, and you're like, he's going to end up getting his pal to chop all his fingers off because he can't deal with it. Whereas if it just came out of nowhere, then it wouldn't be amusing. But it's because you could see it coming as the viewer. But obviously his character just doesn't understand. He can't let it go. That's what makes it funnier. That you know that he's going to go up to his house and you know he's going to catch him with chucking fingers at his door and that, which is ridiculous. But that's why it's amusing.
Actually,
sorry, Sean.
Sorry, I was just going to say, like, see how obviously he's made the threat about cutting his foot. Obviously, initially it was going to cut a finger off each time or whatever he went through, like one to the rest of his fucking fingers. But see, just the fact he just turned up at his house and just launched him at the door and then walked away. It's just like, it's so like childish. Like, he has to go and show him that you fucking made me do this. So I'll just launch these fingers at your door and then fuck off. It just, there's something just, I don't know, really like.
It's like something you can imagine, like a kid's, like, say if it was you, Daniel, like a young Daniel saying, like, if you do that, I'm going to come to your house and do trapdoor run at 3 a.m. and wake you up, or I'm going to come and throw stones at your window or something and wake you up in the middle of the night. It's that kind of idea, the fact that he just does it and doesn't. If he didn't just chuck them at his door, it wouldn't have been as funny. Like, if he just chopped the finger off and then he turned up the next day and showed him he had no fingers. It's the fact that he goes to the effort to turn up at the house so that you can see the damage that.
Like, it needs to be clear in certain terms. I want nothing to do with you. Stay the fuck away from me. If you come near me, I'm going to go to your house and chuck my fingers at your door. Like, he wants nothing to do with him, but he made sure that he goes out to chuck his fingers.
The funniest bit for me about it is that pretty much the next scene, or so later that same day, he's back in the pub playing his violin with just these fucking missing finger.
He's just kind of like pointing at folk, like conducting. I think not a single person in that pub is but an island that he's just there with 4 stubs with blood dripping out there.
Fucking insane, man. Like, aye. It's a lovable film, eh? Like, I could do it for ages.
I think another bit about the film as well that
What we look going on there.
for me was is that I think it was more at the start of the film I noticed it, but there was a lot of sort of pauses in the film where like somebody would say something, there wouldn't be like responses straight away, but I liked that because it was as if you were trying to, I don't know if this is what it was trying to do, but it was making me try and think what the other person is thinking and what's going through their heads when they're having these arguments, etc. Whereas if it was just complete dialogue the full time, then you had more chance to take it in.
You see, when you talk about like some of like the best British comedy, like you see like The Office, you see the awkward silences and stuff like that, and like the Royal Family. It's a very British sort of. It's maybe an Irish thing as well, but it's definitely that sort of our two islands together. It's a very sort of comedy. It only works there. Like Americans try it and it doesn't quite hit the same. It's all about the delivery and the timing and maybe the looks that someone gives it. I do feel that sometimes those silences are that's the punchline sometimes.
Yeah.
Aye, no, definitely I agree. Like it's just part, right? They've got good part and they know how to time it. It's very well timed. Everything about this just flows really well.
I also thought Patrick's sister, she was really good in it, I thought as well. That she had quite a good input into it. But as you'd mentioned, I can't remember who you mentioned, but you mentioned somebody else. It was the main character. Was it the guy? I can't remember who it was now. But somebody else that was it was Method on Mick you were talking about. That's what it was. But I thought she was really good in it too. And then there was, I think, like I don't know who it was, but said how like there was quite a lot of like the dark sort of comedy. And I was the same. The only thing that I was a bit not as happy with, maybe that's a bit strong, but was that I don't know how you would end it, but it just seemed to sort of end quite suddenly. I thought, I know they've sort of led it to the crescendo of them putting the house on fire, but then it kind of just that happens and it's like they're just by the sea. And then obviously it does, I guess it's a reasonable point to end, but I don't know how, I just thought maybe the ending could be done better, but I don't really know where you go with the ending too. That was the only part that I would say I didn't think was really good about the film, but definitely.
I'm going to jump in and sort of agree with you. I think that the ending was the all that strong for me. That was the only bit. And it ended with me wanting more, which is great. It's a TV. See, it was a TV show and you're getting another one next week. That's
but I suppose Colm's got another hand. He's got another 4 fingers he can chop off. So
there's a sequel. And he can his toes.
He's left hand and his right foot. He cuts off the toes.
Eventually, we'll be on the 5th installment of the franchise, and it's just his torso that's left.
I thought it was going to be his Boaby chopped off for the 5th one.
All he's got left is torso and Boaby by the end.
And his opposable thumbs.
No, did he not chop his thumb off?
Aye.
Oh, had he? I thought it was just the 4 fingers.
I'm sure the thumb.
There you go, Sean.
I'm saying I'm sure the thumb was the first to go. Might be wrong with that, but I thought it was just came off first.
No, it was a random. I think it was his pointing finger went first.
Mm-hmm.
It was a random finger.
Aye, you're right.
Which finger went first? Fucking hell. What else is nominated for the Oscars?
That
back in this.
The Whale, possibly.
Oh yeah.
I know. I was actually looking through the male Oscar nominations the other day. Like that. What's that? After Sun or whatever? With Paul Mescal, another young Irish actor.
I think you're talking about Love Island's wee show that Maya Jama hosts there, Hunter.
Top Gun. We never watched Top Gun. We never stay on topic, man, with what's out there.
We're not planning on
the list possibly to get done this run.
Were we not planning going to the cinema to see it, maybe?
Maybe. So the other films nominated are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, this Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis.
Oh, I saw that.
Have you seen that?
I went to cinema to watch it.
Oh man, you should have told us. We could have done
I think I did tell you. I think I went with Harvey and Dubs, maybe.
You think you went with Harvey, you don't remember who you went with? This sounds
You
suspicious.
can count your cinema tips on one hand, and you can't remember
No,
who
I'm
you
sure
went with this one with.
I'm sure I must have went with them because I was like, I think who would I went if it wasn't used? But unless
Everything.
it was some lucky lady that I'm just keeping to
Well,
myself.
that's what I'm thinking. I was moving on. I moved on there in case there was a secret lucky lady, Burnsy. We don't want to disappoint your fans online.
No, still single, so they can slide into the Morons DM still.
Okay, so am I going to be your secretary now if they slide into the
Yeah.
DM?
You have to flick through all the CVs that come in.
You'd be like filtering them out.
Well, it has just been Valentine's Day. I'll maybe put an advert on the page for you.
For next year.
For next year, aye.
Aye, that's it. We can maybe do like a thing like we set Bumsy up on a blind date and he has to go to the cinema. Again, it's not a good perfect first date, but he also then has to review the film and the date.
And she has to.
Wow.
She comes on as a guest and reviews the movie with us and the date with Burnsy.
Hofsty gives the date a score out of 5 as well.
This is a $1 million idea, guys. Like, this is happening. Cinema dates. We've got chicken shop dates. That's a thing on TV. Surely cinema dates is a thing.
Yes.
I've got to wear a head camera so it can be put on our social media channels after it.
GoPro in your
Bumsy cut a bit like the wee train spotter guy with the wee GoPro in his head.
Now, if the date goes very well, make sure and take it off before things get
Yes.
and
We just point of view for Bubsy on top.
top. Very lie. Will we get Kyle's thoughts?
Yeah. Bet he hates this. See if he does.
So we've literally got a sentence because he's obviously no well. Banshees was a film I expected to be long and boring, but I loved. That's
Thanks for that. Thank you. See if you ever moans at me, right, for not sending in a good enough review, you can go and fuck yourself because that's pathetic.
Aye, this is very, very low on the effort scale for Kyle. Like, this is poor.
I'm hoping that his scoring doesn't match his effort put in for this review.
I know. I'll give Kyle score. Have we got any more we want to say about this actually? Because I feel like we've.
I just said it does have some flaws, yes, but it's. You know what it is? I don't know if it's because it's like a first time view. Like, I think for a first time view for all of us is very, very few and far between. And I don't know, maybe we're just watching good films because I think comparable, obviously it's a completely different film from Parasite, but there's something I think from that first watch from something, maybe again because it's just a great film, but that it's very rare we're in such unanimous about. We're so unanimously agreed about a new film, and I think I've enjoyed this aspect that everyone's enjoyed this film as well.
So that makes sense because also Spider-Man we scored really highly and we all watched for the first time together. The Batman we all liked. Parasite we all liked. So there's maybe something in it, the freshness of a because and this is why we should do the big special soon of rescoring. Let's shake it up a little bit and get a wee plus and minus 0.5 on the go again and see if we can change the top. Because I'm really ashamed of the Spider-Man every time I look at it now. I feel like now that Kyle's not here, we need to all get together. Because
just like if he'd had his wicked way, that would have for a page that scores films out of 5, that could have potentially had a score of +5.
I know, I know. So I think we should all agree to give our minus 0.5 to Spider-Man, and therefore, even if he gives it a plus, he's.
I'm looking forward to Sean Down scoring The Godfather again.
I know. That's I think that's still the most commented post we ever had. Do you know there's a Reddit thread about that post?
Is there?
No.
Aye, so there's a Reddit about it. It's like this movie page basically taking the piss at us, and there's loads of folk commenting going like, and it's got a picture of our Spider-Man score and then our Godfather score.
I mean, how
You need to say that. I want to
effective have you
comment.
that random numbers on an Instagram post get you that trigger that you then have to go create a subreddit about said post?
I wanted it to kick on, but no, they stopped caring after that point. But will we give it some scores?
Aye.
Let's go.
Let's get Kyle. So Kyle gave it a 4, which I'm quite happy about because I was worried about his score. So let's go. You picked it, Hunter. What about you?
It's missing something, I think, to make it a 5. A 4.75.
Bonzi?
4.25 for me.
Sean?
I'm giving it a 5.
Well, that was coming. I'm in between everybody. I'm a 4.5. We've got the full range of the 4s here.
Yeah.
Overall, that's a 4.5.
Thought that. I could have done that one in my head, I think.
Got my trusted calculator here.
So we don't have Kyle here, but I think that would probably put it comfortably in the top 10 because the Green Mile got a 4.6 and it was like 5th or something like that. So that'll put this in our top 10 movies, I would imagine.
Aye, will do.
Pretty good going. I'm backing this for the Oscars. The fact that it's the only one I've seen.
I'll be able to tell you where it actually goes into a second.
On that, I know we've not really touched on much of the trivia for us, but it's actually it was the most nominated film for a Golden Globe at 8 for like 20 years or something.
Wow. What did they win?
It won. Colin Farrell won Best Actor, I know that. I'll just go through the winners now.
I think
Just
that.
we are doing that, Hunter, it's now it'll go in at tied 8th, joint with No Country for Old Men, which needs booted down.
You need to watch that again, Bonzi.
I still remember being really happy about how much Sean liked it.
I saw Colin Farrell. I was like, because Austin Butler's won drama motion picture, but Colin Farrell's won it for musical/comedy. So it's been kind of. It's not just like a one of the. Like, you get the Oscars, are just like it groups everyone all together.
Aye. It was weird. I thought this could have been one of those films where they don't class any of them as a lead actor.
Aye.
So they have them. Do you know what I mean? A bit like what we watched. It was like that Django.
Yeah.
There's so many folk that were sort of. I suppose I
suppose like the one you could say like obviously Barry Keoghan's character would definitely be a supporting, but
yeah,
like for screen time, what was the one we watched? Was it Django where Christoph Waltz's character was the least amount of time on screen to win Best Actor or something like that?
No, I think it was the opposite. He was the most time on screen to be a supporting actor because he's in the whole film.
I knew it was something along those lines anyway.
Aye, so 4.5, man. I'm buzzing with that.
I know. Hopefully, I'm now allowed back to pick movies again, which, going by the title of previous podcasts, that it was up for debate.
So we've got Bohemian Rhapsody coming up, and we've got, what have you changed yours to, Bonzi?
Friends with Benefits.
Friends with Benefits. That's it. But I think it's good that we're taking a wee more light-hearted approach now after some more serious films, going straight up romantic comedy with Friends with Benefits. Is that the one with Justin Timberlake in it?
That is, yeah.
And Mila Kunis?
Yeah.
Why did you pick that, Bonzi?
Because the original pick that I had isn't on any of our movie channels anymore, so that was why.
And I believe he's also an avid NSYNC fan as well, so...
Oh, it was NSYNC, wasn't it? Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Well, we'll call that a night. I'm starting to get tired these days, lads. I'm actually having to do work in my job these days.
Maybe we should try and get more than 5 or 6 hours sleep a night then.
I know, I'm going to need to start upping those numbers up to a 7, eh?
Those are rookie numbers, you need to get them up.
I thought we were going to end up talking about wanking again, man. How do we look at
We could talk about it if you want.
And then, what was your favourite most recent wank, Sean?
Nah, you're alright. I'm still traumatised by last week's story.
Say that again?
Still traumatised by last week's story. It just keeps going over in my head.
Aye. That's what you've been thinking about when you've been wanking.
For the last week.
It's not my proudest, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh.
Aye. We're at the awkward stage now, guys.
Oh no, that's it.
This is where Kyle usually comes in and just like ends it, but
Oh, yeah, he's been at it. A sore throat for 2 weeks. My arse, man.
I've been waiting for you to stop recording for the last like 30 seconds. We've just been killing time, Burnsy.
I
I
feel
thought
like
you were
Kyle
just.
just keep on going and going. You can press a button as well, can you not?
Sorry I don't speak moron as well as you, but let me try.
What the hell is supposed to do, you moron?
It's a moron. That's not against the law.
Gun! You fucking moron!
Dressed up like Batman.
Because he is Batman, you moron.
What are you, a fucking moron?
You moron. Drop dead. Moron.
Whoa!
Up here, you morons.
Stepping morons like yourself.
Me down, you moron! Hey, moron!
Bid you farewell and good luck, morons. Bye.